How's it going, everyone? Akibana Zero here, and in this video I'm going to do an analysis of the Volume 6 character short, which is all about Adam. The character short was absolutely amazing. One of probably the best one that Rooster Teeth has done so far, at least in terms of quality. Like I mentioned in my reaction, which you can catch after the 2-day period where my patrons have early access to it. But yes, it was an incredible character short. The quality of the fight scenes is just amazing. You could just like literally feel how Adam is growing in his brutality from the start to the finish and all that stuff. But we'll get into that. Let's start with the beginning of the short. So in the beginning of the short, we see some faunus who are wearing shirts that seem to have the white fang insignia, but it seems to be lacking the 3 claw marks, which I guess that might have something to do with Gira being the leader at the time. I didn't really catch on that this was in the past, despite the fact that it seems to be like, you know, just very early white fang not gonna call it uniforms or whatever, but yeah, they're wearing masks on their face and they're on their mouths, and then Adam appears and he's starting to just wear his mask, and that was pretty interesting because I was hoping we get to see his face, but they won't let us have that yet. Apparently, it was kind of funny to me how the guy said, like, dude, that mask totally makes you look like a Grim. That just felt like really funny to me for some reason. But I guess they just wanted to point out the fact that he did want to appear like he's a Grim. He wants to instill that fear into his enemies, because that is the thing that most people in this universe fear. It's the Grim. But what I found very interesting is once he'd said that to him about the mask, Adam was like, we shouldn't let people forget what we look like. And that was something very interesting to me. I'm not really sure what they went with that. Is he trying to say that faunus used to have some relation to the Grim? Were they created from Grim? Were they like some kind of evolution of Grim? I'm not entirely sure what they're supposed to mean with that. Maybe I'm overthinking what he said, but just by all means, please sound off in the comments if I'm making a mistake here. Anyway, they're raiding some kind of dust warehouse, which I'm guessing is probably just some early warehouses of the Schnee Dust Corporation, because those are the people they're usually trying to raid for their dust, right? This is soon followed by what seems to be I guess a convoy of something that they're trying to transport. They're being attacked by humans of some kind of village, because when Gira stands up and says like, hey, just let us through, the humans there were like, you shouldn't have crossed, you shouldn't have tried to cross through our village or something like that. So you get to see immediately how humans are treating the faunus. Like, they see faunus, they immediately start attacking them. But this is where the first really awesome fight scene happens in this character short, where Adam just completely annihilates everybody. He's blocking bullets with his sword, he's jumping around, he's spinning, he's hitting, but in the end he unleashes this energy attack with his sword that kills a guy who's about to go and attack Gira for obviously a kill shot. And Gira got upset with him for this. He was like, this is why people are attacking us. This is why they have like such a bad opinion of us. But that is where Sienna steps in and says that no, he tried to save you and you should appreciate that. And everybody was like treating Adam like a hero, but it's clear that Gira is not really happy with this. And there's like this little exchange of looks between Sienna and Gira, which kind of shows a little bit that contrast between them. And I'm assuming at the time they're both like kind of sort of leaders of this little organization of the White Fang while it's still in its infancy. I'm not entirely sure if that is the case, or if it was just Gira being the leader, or if it was both Sienna and Gira. But it's very obvious that there are contrasting views here. You've got Gira on the one hand, who's like, I just want peace for the faunus, and then there's Sienna, who obviously wants more. But it doesn't, you kind of feel like Sienna and Adam, they're on like the same wavelength up to that point. They're still like on the same wavelength. They still want to do what it takes to bring liberty and justice for the faunus. And that follows with a conversation on a rooftop between Blake and Adam, and what I assume is what happened right after the whole attack on the train in the black trailer thing. then. And clearly, Blake was very upset with Adam, and Adam is apologizing to her and saying, "I'm doing what I can for us, and I'm doing this for us." And you can kind of feel like it kind of almost feels like he's trying to convince himself that he's still doing this for the faunus and not himself. You see, like, how this character short is very brilliant is that it's slowly showing you the shift in mentality from where he starts to say that we're about, in the beginning, where he's saying, like, we're here to get what we deserve, and it slowly transitions in the end towards what I deserve. So it's going from I'm doing this for a cause up to a point where it's like I'm doing it for myself. And this is where the transition is kind of actually happening. And now this is immediately followed up where they're actually raiding a Schnee Dust Corporation building. There are robots, there are soldiers with high-powered weapons and everything, and we get another awesome fight scene where Sienna is joining in with a pretty cool chain weapon that's dust-infused, and she can do various things with it. It's really cool fight scenes, and some of the best fight scenes I've seen so far in RWBY, honestly. And they've done a really awesome job, despite the fact of not having the brilliance of Monty there. I think they're really, really stepping up their game with these fight scenes. So yeah, we are seeing once again that Adam is becoming very brutal, and Gira is no longer with them here, obviously. But we see Ilya getting some action in as well. It's slowly going into that point where the White Fang is getting very brutal with the way it's fighting the humans. And this is all followed up with Sienna telling, like in the throne room with Adam, telling Adam that, you know, one day you're gonna be standing right next to me on the throne up there, which is, I just went ha over there because I know exactly, we all know what happens after that. And immediately after, there's a transition where Adam is sitting on the throne and he's telling his soldiers that right before they go and attack Haven that, yeah, now it's time that I got what I deserved. And that is followed by a moment where he's just staggering. He drops his mask. We still don't see his face, but he's staggering. He's weak. He's injured. Lots going on here, and that is where everything fades to black. That is the end of the character short. I found this to be like a really awesome way to close off the character short, because it definitely means we haven't seen the last of Adam, but he's definitely weak. And when somebody is as driven as him, and he's come to the point of being this weak and injured, we're definitely going to see a whole new level of hate coming out of him, a whole new level of asshole, just to be straight up like that. But I absolutely love how they went with this character short, because it doesn't just show off a few things about the show. It doesn't show off a few things about a character. It really goes into depth into their psyche. It really goes in depth on what makes them tick. It really shows like that transition, and I'm hoping in Volume 6 that we get to see a little bit more, because it's not just the fact, it can't be just the fact that he's had a taste of blood and having all of this, sense of justice for himself. I think there might be something more that we're not seeing yet, and I'm really hoping that we get to see even more development for Adam. I still don't like the guy. None of us like him at all, but there's always something. There's always some kind of redeeming quality in good storytelling, and I'm sure that at the end of the day, things are not just as black and white when it comes to Adam. There's probably some moral gray area that we haven't seen yet, and I'm pretty excited to see that. And if you are just as excited as well, please leave the video a like and subscribe to my channel by mashing on that subscribe button, because it helps a lot. I'd like to thank my patrons as always for supporting me, and you can do the same by hitting up patreon.com/Akibana0. And you could also join our little Discord family by hitting up the invite link in the description below. That's gonna do it for this video, guys. I'm gonna catch you next time.